Hey everyone, in today's video we are taking a look back at my 2023 favourites. These products obviously made a huge impact on me in 2023, but do I still love them and do I still use them in 2025? So if you are interested in exploring my previous favourites with me, then please do keep on watching. I really wanted to do this video because I know for a fact that there are some products in this collection that I have barely used since I used them in 2023. And that is pretty shocking. And I guess today is about exploring those reasons as to why that is. Why did I abandon some of these products? Why haven't I used them? But there are absolutely products that I use all the time still in 2025. So I went back and I watched my 2023 video, and that was painful enough having to watch myself a year ago. But I think it's worth noting that I was very much in the infancy of my YouTube journey at the time, and I definitely not tried as many products on a monthly basis that I obviously do now. There were two eyeshadow palettes that I spoke about in that video, and I can confirm that I still do love the both of them. The first one I spoke about was this one by YSL. So it's the YSL Couture Mini Clutch, and this is in the shade 100 Stora Dolls. I was so obsessed with this little palette, and it wouldn't be like me to buy quads, and I did mention that in the video. That was just a palette that I literally had to have in my life, and I really adore it. I think it's gorgeous. The only thing about it is there's a couple of shades here which don't massively show up on my skin tone, but the other palette that I spoke about is this one, and this was my big favorite from 2023, and it is still a favorite now. So this is the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. I would say that this is still one of my all-time favorite palettes. It might be my favorite actually of all time, and I still use this on a regular basis. I have mentioned recently that I don't use palettes a whole lot anymore, and that's not because I don't like palettes, it's just ease of use on a daily basis. I'm whacking on a one and done eyeshadow. But when I do want to make the effort with my eyeshadow, I will go for this Natasha Denona. So out of these two, I think that I'll pop this one on just because it's more versatile than this little palette is. So we'll give this a whirl because I don't think I've used it on camera in a really long time. And what I love about this palette is you don't need to use an eyeshadow primer. So I'm going to go in with no eyeshadow primer. I've not even got concealer on my lids today. I don't know what we're going to do today, but we'll go in with one eye first. And I think I'm going to start over here with Vague, which is just the perfect transition shade, and going in with my Zoeva 228. I think what we'll do is I'll do one eye on camera, and then to avoid boring you, I will just match up the other eye off camera. I think I'm then going to go in with Ella at the top here because that's a shade that I haven't really used a whole lot. I think we'll go in with a bit of Travertine as well. Let's just use as many shades as we can, shall we? And I'm doing this with my Refa 14. So I'm going to go in with the shade Fair, which is just a really light matte. I'm then going to follow that up here with one of my absolute favourite shades, which is Whisper. And I'm just going to take that on the lid, kind of in the first third of my eye. And then I'm going to top it with Sheen, which is a topper. You can see that there. And then I'm going to take some filigree, and I'm going to take my little Refa 13 for this. Now this is a little bit shimmery, but I'm still going to stamp some on the outer corner. And then I'm going to go in with the deeper shade, which is called Silhouette, with my Refa 03. And I'm just going to take a little bit on the lash line. I love this palette. You don't have to create super cool tones. I feel like this is fairly neutral and it is very, very wearable. Okay, let me just match these eyes up. So the answer is emphatically, yes, I still love these eyeshadow palettes. There's something for everyone in here. And what I love about this is you could take any of these shades on their own and you could use them all over your eyes as a one and done. For someone like me who's boring, who doesn't really branch out with their eye makeup very much, this just gives me everything that I'd want in an eyeshadow palette, and it's definitely one that I still use in 2025 and will continue to use above and beyond. So the mascara that I spoke about in my 2023 video was the Huda Beauty One Coat Wow. This was not a product that had completely blown me away. It wasn't an absolute number one favorite mascara of all time. That's not why it was in the video. It was in the video because I tried it that year and I still didn't know how I felt about it. And guess what? In 2025, I still feel the same. I still don't know how I truly feel about this mascara. Sometimes I think it's a brilliant mascara and sometimes it just leaves me in a mess. I'm going to say that I don't really like the brush. It's very spiky. It kind of assaults me when I use it. When I first used this, as I said in that video, I thought it was the best mascara I've ever used in my whole entire life. But it's not consistent, and for that reason I don't use it anymore. So today is the first time I've used it in a long time, and I'm hoping that it's not expired. Let's get a little coat on and see how we get on. This is really going to stab me in the eye. See, the brush is quite big, you see? It's quite big for my little lashes. I bought this for my best friend because she has the best lashes, and this is her literal holy grail mascara. She loves it. And I said in that video that this mascara should be called One Dip Wow because you do not need to dip back into the tube during application. You could actually do both eyes out of just one dip. I'm serious. I don't know how the brush holds all the product in place. I don't get it. It's literally just clumped my eyelashes together. At this stage, I'm thinking, what was I thinking? What was I thinking with this mascara? So this is a no, 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 no. In 2023, there were actually 3 top concealers that I absolutely loved. The first one is the Tower 28 Swipe Serum Concealer. I'm almost out of that now. I love this. I use this to carve out my brows every single day. The Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer, absolute holy grail of mine. And the one that I used in the video was the Haus Labs. This is, I think it's called the Triclone Skin Tech Concealer, I think. So that's the one that we're going to use because that's the one that I used in the video, and I still absolutely love this. I picked up a peachy shade of this. So this is light medium peach. It's a fantastic concealer. It gives absolutely incredible coverage without being cakey or without being heavy. Just want to say that I'm having a few issues with technology today. Honestly, if I did not have to deal with technology when it came to YouTube, my life would be absolutely perfect. But cameras, lighting... Anyway, so this is shade 20 Light Medium. So I'm not going in with a corrector because I don't need a corrector if I'm using a peachy shade. It's actually one of the drier concealers that I've ever used, and I'm using my usual BK Beauty A506 to blend this out. So it's a very, it's more on the drier side, so it's not a very, like it's not a runny concealer. It doesn't feel super fluid, but it's very, very creamy. It's lovely. And this is a real favourite of mine still. I think sometimes I forget that I have it, but it's no surprise that I love this because I absolutely love the Haus Labs foundation. That is my holy grail of holy grail foundations. But I don't love this as much as the foundation, maybe because it's a slightly drier formula, but I still really love it. And I feel like this is also great for spot concealing. You saw there, I should have mentioned it at the time, I've got a little blemish there under my eye, which is a really strange place to have a blemish, but I'm not surprised at anything these days. I feel like your 40s just bring loads of surprises. So I'll just show you a bit of spot concealing. So yeah, not just a great under eye concealer, absolutely brilliant all over the face. So they have definitely stood the test of time through to 2025. Moving on to foundation, and there was one foundation that I spoke about in that video that came up at the top. It was my #1 foundation for 2023. It was the Glossier Stretch Fluid Foundation. I haven't used this in ages. I don't know why I've not used it. I know I have this in a shade that's too dark, okay? So I have this in the shade medium 1. That's medium 1. Look at how thick that formula is. And that was definitely something I always said. I always said that the formula isn't usually what I go for just because it is just so thick. But there's just something about this foundation that I absolutely love. I don't know, I think this is an olive shade because I can see the green. So I think that's why I can get this to work. Fun fact, my first ever YouTube video was a review on this foundation. And no, I'm not gonna go back and watch that video because cringe. Oh, I bet it's so bad. This foundation is very green. So if you can see past the shade, that's half done. And without, it's a beautiful foundation. I think it is just the formula that puts me off, and the fact that there have just been so many other foundations that have been released since this Glossier. If you see past the shade, this is a stunning foundation. The shade does put me off. I think that's probably why I've not reached for it. But there just has been better foundations that have been released. However, having said that, I will still stand by the fact that this is an absolutely beautiful foundation. It's perfect for mature skin. It is so incredibly smoothing and flattering. If you have normal to drier skin, this would be a beautiful foundation on your skin. I had heard that there were people with more oily skin that really didn't get along with this foundation. And another thing that is off-putting about this foundation is the fact that it has a very strong fragrance. And that is really, really, really off-putting. I don't love how green I'm looking right now. I'm just going to go in with a little bit of Tower 28 concealer. And I'm just going to lighten up some of the key areas of my face. What was I thinking with that shade? Can somebody tell me that, please? I don't think I really spoke about a bronzer in that video, but the one that I was wearing was this one by Rare Beauty, the Warm Wishes bronzer in the shade Always Sunny. And it is really, really warm. If I was to pick a shade now, I would probably go a little bit more neutral. I'm going to take my BK Beauty A507 and I'm just going to tap into what's on my hand and just pop it on my face. See, it is very warm actually, isn't it? This is definitely still a favourite for me. This is one of the best bronzers that I've ever used, one of the best cream bronzers, and I feel like it's really, really underrated. The other similar product that I spoke about that isn't a bronzer, but it is a contour, was the e.l.f. Halo Glow Contour Wand. I don't use this anymore. And there's one reason why, and that's because of these. e.l.f. brought out a bronzer contour duo. I mean, they are far superior to the contour ones. There is literally no comparison between these two. So if you are looking for an e.l.f. contour, I would definitely go in with these. Probably should have put that on before my bronzer, but we'll put a little bit on. So this is in the shade Light Medium, which now that I'm looking at it, it's far too warm. Far too warm. In fact, if I put that on, I feel like it's going to get really muddy, but we're doing it. We're going to put a little bit on. That should have gone on before my bronzer, by the way, but things are just not going to plan today. Look, these contour ones, they are perfect for people starting out in makeup. So if you have, for example, a teenager at home who's just getting into makeup and contour, I think these are absolutely made for that. They're made for beginners because they're not very scary and they're not too pigmented. And I feel like these new bronzer contours are very, very pigmented. So they could be a little bit scary for people who are just starting out in makeup or are just not too confident. They're just a really nice beginner friendly option. But do I use them now? The answer is no, I don't use them now. It's not that I wouldn't recommend them, they just don't suit me and my preferences now anymore. I like what I like now when it comes to contour, and they're just not for me anymore. I loved a lot of blush in 2023. One of the ones I loved was the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Beauty Blush ones. I really do like them, still like them, but they're a little bit too pigmented, I think, for me at the moment. I'm definitely into more natural looking blush. I love the Nars Afterglow Liquid Blush. These are my go-to in the summer because they're so incredibly lightweight, they're incredibly sheer, they're really super hydrating, and they're perfect for the summer. I brought them away with me when I went away last summer and I still love them. And this wasn't new in 2023. I can say that I went through a phase of not using too many of my Rare Beauty liquid blushes, but I have been picking them up more often, more recently. Sometimes you do just need a little break from products from your favorites, and then you can go back to them and it's like they're a brand new product again. And I feel like I've been through that with my Rare Beauty blush recently. So there have been so many blushes that have come out last year that I was using those, but now I'm back using my Rare Beauty. So this is the shade Worth, and that was a new shade in 2023. And I felt like it was just the shade that I'd been waiting for. This is my Refa 04, by the way. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to, because I did this in the video, I topped the Rare Beauty blush with one of the Nars Afterglow blushes, and I love these. I got these minis and they are still going. Well, they're not going too much, they are running out now. And this is in the shade Dolce Vita, and it just gives a really nice hydrated finish to the skin. It's really gorgeous and dewy. I'm aware that I'm applying too much blush right now, but it's okay. I did still wear a bit of highlight in 2023. In that video I say that I don't really wear it as much, but the one that I liked was another Halo Glow. That looks very shiny. I'm a bit scared. I'm taking my Refa 35 and I'm dipping into it. I have texture, look, I have spots. I know what's going to happen here. Look, my cheeks are not great right now. I don't feel like that has done me any favours at all. Okay, let's move on to lips. My favourite combo, the Rare Beauty lip oil and lip liners. So I am going to wear them too today. I'll tell you what they are in a second. But I did mention my favourite lipsticks, which were the e.l.f. Face satin lipsticks, and I think I showed you two in that video in 2023. I have since upped my collection. I have a good amount of the e.l.f. Face satin lipsticks, and I think they are absolutely beautiful. I mean, they're not the cheapest. They're £10 for a satin lipstick from e.l.f., but I feel like you are getting a really decent product. You know, you're getting that lovely magnetic bullet, you're getting some really fantastic shades. My favorite shade is Dirty Talk. I think it's just the perfect nude, but we're going to go in with something different. So we're going in with a Rare Beauty lip liner. So my all-time favorite lip liners are actually from Maybelline, and they are very, very affordable. They are the lifter lip liners, and I genuinely don't think that you should be spending a lot of money on lip liners. If I was to buy any high-end lip liner, it's going to be the Rare Beauty. Let's get Admired on. I think they are the creamiest, most beautiful lip liners. They are fantastic. Absolutely zero drag from these lip liners, and they are twisties. So the lip product that I used in that video was the Rare Beauty lip oil in the shade Delight. This was a bit controversial, I think, this product, because, well, I can get why, because it's called a lip oil, but it's actually a lip tint. This looks glossy like a lip oil, but it doesn't remain like that. It definitely kind of dries down and will just leave you with a really pretty lip. Yeah, I love this. And I mentioned in that video that when I wear this combo, I always get compliments. So I would say with this product, if you think you're buying a lip oil, you are going to be disappointed, because it's not a lip oil. It's definitely a really beautiful lip tint. And yes, it's definitely, most definitely still a favorite in 2025. It's gorgeous. So there we are with my look back on my 2023 products, and a little bit of a mixed bag. So there are some products that I'm probably never going to use again. So for example, the e.l.f. Contour, the e.l.f. Highlight, not that they're not good products, they just don't suit me anymore and my preferences. I'll never use the Huda One Coat Wow again because I just can't. It's taken me till 2025 to get to the point where I'm ready to break up with this mascara. But there are some products that I've not used in so long because other products have just come along and turned my head. The Glossier foundation, I think my skin looks really good today. I need to use that again, don't I? Definitely products that I still regularly use, such as the Natasha Denona palette and the e.l.f. lipsticks and the Rare Beauty blushes. So a mixed bag. And I think it's important to do this because, you know, you hear content creators talking about their favorites and then you never hear them mention them again. So I think it's really important to be honest, to be upfront with you and say, this was from a year ago, I still love this, or this is from a year ago and do you know what, it's not for me anymore. And I think it's all right to do that with makeup. Makeup is one of those things that will change because our skin changes and our preferences change, especially when you get a little bit older. Let me know, what products did you used to love and now for some reason you just don't pick them up anymore? Let me know what they are, and if there's any products that have really stood the test of time, let me know as well. I'm actually planning a video where I test your recommendations. So what have been your favorites recently? What viral makeup product have you thought is definitely worth the hype? Let me know what they are down in the comments because I'll buy them and I will review them and see if I agree with you. Okay, thank you so much for joining me for this video. I so appreciate you being here with me. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next one. But until then, take care and bye for now.